As you can see, I'm down at the seaside in sunny Brighton today, which is really exciting. Most of the wildlife photography that I do is in local parks or woodland or farmland, so to be out by the sea is just a really nice, different experience, and it's a beautiful sunny day, a little bit cold, but it is January after all, so it's kind of what you've got to expect, and I'm nicely wrapped up, so nothing to worry about there. But essentially I'm here for a starling murmuration, and in a couple of hours there are going to be thousands and thousands of starlings flying around behind me, and I just cannot wait. You might remember, if you've been following me for a while, that I did this last year as well, but to be honest, it's just one of the most amazing natural phenomenons. So yeah, I couldn't resist coming back, and because last year was the first time I'd done it, it was it was a new experience. I didn't necessarily know what gear to bring and where to place myself on the beach, but now I feel like I've brought better equipment and I've got some better shots in mind, so hopefully we can improve on last year's videos, and no starling murmuration is the same anyway, so yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. I do have some other news that I wanted to share, but I think it's going to be a lot more powerful if I share it at the end of the video once we've seen the starling murmuration. So yeah, please do stick around for that. It's not the most positive news, but the good thing is there is something that we can all do, and it's a fight that we've got to take part in if we care for nature and if we care for our beautiful wildlife like these lovely starlings. I had a couple of hours now until sunset, so I explored the beachfront and thought about the images that I wanted to capture. This was so different to any other wildlife photography I do. Usually it's about fieldcraft and searching for the wildlife, and then I take the photo and I do the framing, when and if I find the animals. However, the starling murmuration was almost a guarantee, and I knew exactly where it would happen, so I had hundreds of images in mind that I had planned. I knew that I couldn't pull them all off though, so I decided on a few that I wanted to make sure I got. So I'm ready and I'm in position with about 45 minutes until sunset, so I'll have a bit of waiting, but this is the spot I've chosen. I'm down on the beach looking out towards the pier, because I really want to get a few shots of maybe people on the pier watching them, and also some shots of them swirling around the pier. I think they'll just add to the images. I'm also going to try maybe some slower shutter speed shots as well, so yeah, lots of cool stuff to try, although I do wish I could be in two places at once, because I think being up on the pier watching them would also be amazing, but unfortunately can't really do that. So yeah, chosen to stay here on the beach, and hopefully it's going to pay off. This is just so exciting, because usually when I do wildlife photography I'm just on my own, which is lovely, and I love the solitude, but sometimes to come together, there's hundreds of people on the pier and on the beach, so to come together and watch something like this is really exciting, and a few of the starlings have started to gather, so it's kicking off now. The starlings gather like this from late November through until the end of February, and it's January and February which sees the highest numbers. This astonishing behaviour is thought to be a defence tactic against predators such as peregrine falcons, which can sometimes be seen hunting amongst the flocks. With such large numbers and continuous random patterns, it makes it much harder for them to be targeted, and it's an absolute joy to watch. As the final starlings flew into roost under the pier, I was able to reflect on a few of the photos which I took in between filming, and I was really happy with some of the results. I managed to get some nice close-ups against the colourful skies, and also some of the slower shutter speed shots which I had planned came out really nicely, especially the ones with the pier in the image as well. Now it's time for an important message. So I mentioned a little while ago in the video that I was going to share a bit of news which is less positive than the amazing murmuration we've just seen, but essentially there used to be around 100,000 starlings that used to come here every winter. There are now about 10,000, so it's still pretty impressive numbers, but nowhere near what it should be. And the reasons for those declines is use of pesticides, loss of habitat. Yeah, they're the main two, and unfortunately Brighton and Hove Council have recently announced that they're going to start using glyphosate again, which is a really horrible chemical. It's carcinogenic, so it's very toxic to people. It's very bad for nature and wildlife as well, and once it gets into the food chain, it's just going to deplete these starling numbers even more. It's a ridiculous decision. It's banned across most of Europe, so I have no idea why they want to start using that again. But the good news is we can fight back. Someone's made a petition which I'm going to drop in the description, so please do sign that for the sake of people and wildlife. If you want to come and see the Starling Murmuration in the future, maybe you want your kids to see it even, because it is so spectacular, then we need to save them and we need to stop the council what they're currently doing. So yeah, please do consider signing that. But I don't want to end on a negative note, so I'm just going to say once more how amazing it's been to be here. And yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me. Next time I'm going to be filming next weekend, something which I've been trying to film a few times before but haven't had much success, so fingers crossed this is going to be better, and hopefully I will see you in that next video.